Welcome to the video tutorial for Fuck Everything, a game of give and take. My name is Semantics and I'll be your guide to the newest addition to your gaming arsenal. Fuck Everything is a cutthroat card game where players take turns giving fucks and getting fucked over by using the cards from these two decks. Everything cards are your objectives, the things that you're going to give fucks about. They essentially come in two types: normal objectives and totally fucked cards. Normal objectives are personal objectives and can only be paid off by the player that draws the card. But if a totally fucked card is drawn, all players have to give a fuck before anyone can win. If any players are out of fucks, they can't pay for objectives until the totally fucked card is cleared. Fuck cards are how you give fucks and fuck over other players. When you turn a card from the pile of fucks, it acts on you before going into your hand, and you can play fuck cards from your hand to fuck with other players' objectives during the attack phase. On your turn, you can play fuck cards to clear your objectives. There are three kinds of fuck cards. Fuck you cards have no negative effect when drawn. They add value to the objectives in the attack phase to make the objectives harder to clear. Fuck 'em cards give you more cards when drawn, but end your turn, and you can't play them in the attack phase. Your fucked cards add another objective to the player who drew it face up. However, there's no attack phase for the extra objective. You can't play them to attack other players either. Sorry. Turns have three phases. In the get a fuck phase, the player flips a card from the pile of fucks. If it's a fuck you card, great! Add it to your hand and continue your turn. If it's not, follow the instructions of the card and end your turn here. The give a fuck phase allows you to give fucks to old objectives that you might have from previous rounds. If you can't pay for all of your old objectives, you have to wait, so end your turn here. If you have no old objectives, or pay off your old objectives so you have no objectives, then flip a new everything card. Flipping a new objective triggers the attack phase, where other players can add to the value of your new objective. Each player may only play one card in an attack phase, with the goal of making it impossible to pay for that objective with the remaining fuck cards in your hand. If you can still give enough fucks after everyone plays their attack, you win the game. If you can't pay for the new objective, it stays with you and your turn is over until the next round. Just so you get a better feel for the game, let's sit in on a game already in progress. In this game, there are 3 players. Player 1 has 2 objectives, one worth 1 fuck and one worth 1 fuck plus 2 fucks from a fuck you card, for a total of 4 fucks that they have to give, and they have 4 cards in their hand. Player 2 is out of fucks, but they have an objective worth 1 fuck. And player 3 has an objective worth 5 fucks, and they have 5 cards in their hand. It's currently player 3's turn. Player 3 draws a fuck. It's a fuck you plus 1, which goes into their hand. Player 3 uses 5 cards from their hand to pay their existing objective. And since player 3 now has no objectives, they flip an everything card. It's a totally fucked card. Player 1 pays their fuck, but player 2 has no cards and must give a fuck before anyone can claim victory. Player 3 pays their card, and the objective remains on the board for player 2's next turn. Player 1 is next. They draw a fuck 'em card for 2 extra cards. The extra cards and drawn card go into their hand and the turn is over. Player 2 draws a your fuck card and they add another objective. This one is also worth 1 fuck, but the other players are not allowed to attack it. Player 2 takes the card they drew and uses it to pay the totally fucked card from before. Back to player 3, who draws a fuck 'em for an extra card, which ends their turn. Player 1 draws a +3 card and uses 4 cards to clear their objectives. They flip an everything card worth 1 fuck. Player 2 has no cards to attack, and Player 3 adds a +1 to the objective. It's not enough to stop Player 1. They clear the new objective and win the game. That concludes the video tutorial for Fuck Everything. Now that you've seen Fuck Everything in action, I hope that you have a better idea of how this game works, and are able to enjoy playing it as much as I enjoyed making it. And, of course, this is only one way to use the game materials. Feel free to say fuck you to the rules and make up your own. Just remember not to hate your friends too much after playing. It is just a game after all.